So how were hackers able to trick the housing board's CFO into wiring all that cash?
NBC 15's Andrea Ramey obtained the emails that outline the con in tonight's reality check.
This email exchange is between the housing board's former CFO and a person at Hunt Companies. That's the company tasked with demolition of the Roger Williams housing project out here. But then hackers got involved and tweaked just one character on an email address. And just like that, the CFO was wiring hundreds of thousands of dollars to thieves. This is spear phishing.
This is spear phishing. They put out a hook, she took the bait, and off it went.
We showed the emails to NBC 15's IT specialist, who pointed out all the red flags that could have stopped the housing board from being duped.
That is not correct English.
The correspondence starts back in February between Mobile Housing Board's former CFO, Lori Shackelford, and a person at Hunt Companies. Note the email address is Hunt Companies, all one word. On April 30th, the email changes, and now there's a dash between Hunt and Companies. What happens on May 7th?
So on May 7th, you can see that the email address has changed yet again. So now instead of Hunt-Companies, you have Hunt Companies where the O is a 0.
This is obviously not legitimate.
No, this is not legitimate. No legitimate company would have a 0 for an O.
And if the bad grammar and email changes weren't enough, this perhaps may have been the biggest clue. On 2 different occasions from those changed email addresses, Shackelford is told where she needs to send that $478,000 is changing.
This should have been the biggest red flag right there. New account information.
By May 11th, she's already wired the money.
Yeah, she's wired the money and she's out a lot of cash.
These types of things are happening every day.
USA cybersecurity researcher Matt Campbell also reviewed the emails and identified the same red flags.
We see what we want to see. That's the problem. Our mind will start filtering out a lot of these red flags.
Spear phishing is the #1 way hackers use to dupe victims. An internet security threat report by Symantec found a well-crafted email sent to an unsuspecting staff member is the most likely source of compromise. In the housing board's case, hackers even copied the real person's signature line.
We're under attack. We're absolutely under attack.
And this time, hackers got away with $478,000 tax dollars.
An exclusive reality check tonight, buying bling with your tax dollars. Records we obtained show Pritchard's former chief of staff spent hundreds of dollars at a jewelry store.
James Blackman is accused of embezzling more than $100,000 of city funds and using his position for personal gain. Tonight, we're investigating if he spent tax dollars on a necklace for his wife.
NBC 15's Andrea Ramey is live tonight with this puzzling purchase.
Yeah, Kim and Greg, taxpayers that we spoke with are outraged over these records that I showed them, and these records may help shed some light as to why the traffic signals in town remain in the dark. Boarded up businesses and broken glass litter Main Street. For a city that's filed bankruptcy and struggled to pay its pensioners, records show city funds help put some bling around someone's neck. $387 charge to K Jewelers Outlet.
What?
That's what we said.
It really burns me up when I'm driving down here in potholes.
A Pritchard Region statement NBC 15 News obtained shows Pritchard's former chief of staff, James Blackman, went to K Jewelers Outlet on September 2nd and spent nearly $400 with a city credit card. Can you think of any legitimate reason why the city of Pritchard, why James Blackman would need to spend $400 at a jewelry store?
What did he buy for the city at the jewelers?
We wanted to know too. Pritchard's mayor couldn't explain the charge.
Thank you for calling K's Outlet.
K Outlet couldn't tell me anything either. But Blackman's attorney could. He says Blackman bought his wife a necklace for her birthday, but the attorney claims Blackman bought it with his personal Regions account, not with city funds. Note the statement is in the city's name and mailed to City Hall, not to Blackman's house.
City employees do not buy jewelry.
Howard Porter would know. He used to be the city's chief of staff in the late 90s.
Look like misuse of the card. What this tells me is that they were not reconciling statements.
Blackman is currently charged with 17 counts of theft of property. Investigators say he stole more than $100,000 using his position with the city. Blackman says he's innocent, but is pledged to pay it all back.
And we begin with a must-see reality check tonight. A toxic time bomb ticking in our Delta, and chances are you have no idea it's there.
Alabama Power stores 21 million tons of hazardous coal ash precariously close to Mobile River, a vital water body our port city cannot afford to endanger.
And tonight, only on NBC 15 News, Andrea Ramey shows you the troubling test results that will leave you wondering why that coal ash is still there.
Tonight, evidence coal ash is getting into Mobile River. This is the power plant here in Bucks. This is Mobile River. And here is the 600-acre coal ash pond. The dam that is keeping all of this material back. Mobile Baykeeper says it's not a matter of if, but when this dam fails. It's a chilly spring morning as we head out to see for ourselves the massive coal ash pond located upstream from the port city. It's huge. Yeah. Almost immediately, we spot what we first suspect is actual coal ash floating in the river.
You can see quite a sheen on the water right there.
A sample is collected for later testing. Mobile Baykeeper has been collecting water and soil samples near the pond for 2.5 years, and for the first time is releasing the troubling results publicly to NBC 15 News.
We know there's coal ash coming out of that plant into our river.
2 water samples, one taken in 2016, the other this year, confirm water flowing into Mobile River from the coal ash pond contains fly ash, a material in coal ash. A clear violation of the Clean Water Act, Mobile Baykeeper says. Other water samples taken near the pond showed elevated levels of arsenic. One sample exceeded the amount allowed by 680%. Alabama Power declined our request for an interview and questioned the veracity of the testing performed. It also has not reviewed the findings. Earlier this month, the state slapped the utility with a $1.25 million fine, the maximum amount for allowing high levels of arsenic to seep into the groundwater around this pond. That fine was based on samples Alabama Power collected.
It's an unlined pond.
Mobile Baykeeper is also extremely concerned about the dam that is keeping all of this coal ash back. A dam safety expert it consulted found, quote, significant stability concerns and found the area near the dam and foundation, quote, potentially unstable. Again, Alabama Power declined our request for an interview, but said its inspections show the dam is safe.
That dam will someday break. Do I think it's going to happen tomorrow? I hope and pray absolutely not. But a strong weather event, something that has directly could cause a breach.
And if that's not enough cause for concern, consider this. The pond is next to Mobile's backup drinking water supply.
This would be the source of drinking water we would have to go to, and
Right by the coal ash pond.
exactly right by a toxic coal ash pond.
Catastrophic failure can happen. 10 years ago in Tennessee, 1 billion gallons of coal ash poured into nearby rivers after a levee failed.
We're talking about there an 80-acre coal ash pond.
This is 600 acres.
Exactly. And it's the same thing. It's an earthen dam.
In response to that disaster, the Environmental Protection Agency put a stop to the wet storage of coal ash, a byproduct from coal-fired plants. Utilities now have the option of either closing and capping their ponds in place or remove the coal ash altogether. Alabama Power has elected to keep the coal ash here and says it's in the process of dewatering, closing, and consolidating materials at the site, a process allowed by the EPA.
So why not, when you're going through this entire process, just dig it up and move it?
Cost of removal cited as a major reason why.
Alabama Power will respond to its consumers. They will respond to their shareholders. If the shareholders and the public at large are saying, dig up this coal ash, move it, protect public health, protect our environment, protect our economy, we believe Alabama Power will do it.
Mobile Baykeeper is urging the community to get involved in this issue, to write letters. If you want to learn more about how to get involved, and if you want to read more about what Alabama Power has said previously to critics about keeping this coal ash in place, head to our website.